Now, if you've been watching the news lately, you'd know the tobacco wars are a very real thing. Shops are becoming victims of ram raids, gangs are pushing through illegal products, and the government is trying to stop the distribution of those products. This week, $21 million worth of illicit tobacco and vape products were seized in what they call chop shop raids in Queensland. Let me show you this report about it from 7 News.
Lifting the lid on a booming underbelly, storage sheds filled with seized contraband.
This has a street value of over $20.5 million.
More than 76,000 vapes, 3 tonnes of illicit tobacco, 19 million illegal cigarettes collected from raids and proudly paraded by the Health Minister.
Are these Chinese still, or I think they come from the Middle East?
Which, under law, we can't show.
What we're actually seeing here is just the tip of the iceberg of what is now being run by organised crime.
The former superintendent claims the haul is just a drop in the ocean, a flourishing black market that's driving targeted attacks. Just last week, this Brisbane tobacconist was hit 45 grand worth of product stolen.
Just in 7 minutes. They know exactly what they are doing.
To brush out competition and feed the thriving illegal trade.
It is a big problem, and our government doesn't do anything.
Last month, fines increased for those caught selling illegal tobacco. In the first week, $5 million worth were dished out.
They've got to actually close the shop down, put the offender before the courts. If they're repeat offenders, they've got to go to jail.
That man's right. It is a problem. And you know why? Because cigarettes are just too expensive. We've gotten to the point where successive governments keep putting taxes up on cigarettes. Now, of course, they're saying, and I believe it's true, the health issues, they want people to stop. The problem is we do live in a free society and a democratic society, and people have the right to smoke if they want. It's not illegal. But I'll give you an example. In Sydney, a packet of cigarettes, that's 20 cigarettes, typically costs around $40. So that is $2 a cigarette. And as you well know, and I've got a list of prices here, cigarettes, if you're buying a couple of packets or a carton, costs a lot more than that. So when people are facing a cost of living crisis and they don't want to give up their cigarettes, what do you think they're going to do? They're going to start buying it illegally. It's a legal product, but they're buying illegal versions of it or from illegal stores because they want it cheaper. I know people who do this. And so gangs want money. And so what do you think? There's a trade here. There's a business model for them to go in, ram raid shops, which we're seeing so much of, and they're stealing from these people, and then they're selling them on the black market. And it's going to keep happening. You can threaten jail. You can say, oh, bigger fines, go to jail. It's not going to stop it because there is a fortune to be made. So what's the balance? When do we say, okay, there are health issues, legitimate health issues, and there is the realistic side of things about the costs? Remember prohibition in the States when they banned alcohol? What happened? People kept drinking alcohol. They just did it behind closed doors. And, you know, I'm trying to think of that term, you know, not shanties, but basically the bars at the back, you know, behind all started taking off. It's in lots of movies. So you don't think that's going to happen here when you're spending $40 for a packet of cigarettes? The government needs to look at the balance. They can tick a box in their public service saying, well, we're helping because we're, you know, because of the health issues. But you have to be realistic. You can make them $100. But what's going to happen? The black market's just going to get bigger and bigger. So instead of looking to a tax for a simple solution, and I'll tell Donald Trump the same thing, taxes or tariffs aren't a simple solution because they never really get to the people you want them to get to because the people go around them. That's what's happening here. People are going around the idea of paying $40 for 20 cigarettes, and I don't blame them.